Hey guys, welcome back to Mr. Janelle's Social 9 podcast, episode 2, Charter of Rights and Freedoms. We're going to start off episode 2 with a brief recap of what happened in episode 1. And in episode 1, we went over our rights and freedoms in a bit of detail. And we also talked about what entrenched means. So, in our Constitution, which is the highest law in Canada, our Charter of Rights and Freedoms is now entrenched, which basically means it is not being removed from our Constitution. They're basically one and the same. So any law or bill that would like to be passed through those steps we learned in chapters 1, the judicial branch, the Supreme Court, needs to ensure that nothing breaks the Constitution or our Charter of Rights and Freedoms. Entrenched, it's not leaving. So, a little quick recap. Okay, we got our fundamental freedoms, 4 included under that subheading. The freedom to express your opinion, the freedom to choose your own religion, the freedom to organize peaceful meetings and demonstrations, and the freedom to associate with any person or group. Your democratic rights. The right to vote for members of the House of Commons and provincial legislatures, and the right to vote for a new government at least every 5 years. Essentially, this is your right to vote, your democratic rights. Mobility rights. The right to move anywhere within Canada and to earn a living there, and the right to enter, stay in, or leave Canada. Your legal rights, the right to be free of imprisonment, search and seizure without reasons backed by law and evidence. That specific right is what the comic is talking about on page 94 to 97, okay, which you'll have to read for your critical thinking assignment. And the right to a fair and quick public trial by an impartial court, impartial meaning unbiased, they're only looking at the facts. So the right to a fair and quick public trial by an impartial court that assumes that you are innocent until proven guilty. And your equality rights. The right to be free of discrimination because of race, national or ethnic origin, religion, gender, or mental or physical disability. Essentially, the right to be free of discrimination, period. And did you know, with the 2 exceptions, one major one, the Charter of Rights and Freedoms gives every person who is in Canada, whether citizen or not, so anyone just physically in Canada, gets all of our Charter of Rights and Freedoms, except the right to vote and the right to enter or leave Canada freely. But the big one is the right to vote. Okay, and your first assignment was the Rights and Freedoms T-chart, which we went over in class. But basically, you're on the left there, you're writing down all the rights and freedoms that were discussed. And on the right, you're explaining or giving me some examples of how those rights or freedoms could be used in everyday life. All right, start episode 2. There's your quick review that we used to do in class. Miss having this. But do you know any of these? Okay, so the first part here is in your textbook on page 99, Diversity and Students for Change. So here we have Emily is a grade 9 student in Calgary. She belongs to a group at her school called Diversity and Students for Change. The group promotes awareness and respect for the diversity of people in Canada and at Emily's school. It is a sponsored lunchtime movie festivals about different cultures and made presentations about bullying and discrimination. So this is what this girl says here. You guys can read it on your own, but it's basically her telling her story of what she's done. So, what I would like you to do here is read her profile, which is on the bottom of the page, on page 99, and there's 2 questions at the bottom of the page. So the first one being, what are the goals, okay, of her program, and what parts of the charter connect to those goals? Okay, hint, it's about discrimination, but there might be some more too. Okay, and there's the questions right there. Okay, this is Critical Thinking 3.2. So, now that the Charter exists, it creates constitutional protection for individual rights and freedoms applying to all governments across Canada. So not just provincially, this is for everyone in Canada. Canadians can challenge in the court of law anything that restricts their rights. Canada's government is, however, justified in restricting rights if it is necessary to maintain Canada as a free and democratic country. So that third point there is when things get a little dicey. So basically, the government can be justified in restricting your rights to keep everybody else safe. And we'll talk about that more as well in our next Google Hangout. Okay, so moving on. Your individual rights, as stated by the Charter. Fundamental freedoms again. The freedom to express your opinion. I think it's stupid that I can't listen to my iPod in class. Yes, you have that right to express your opinion. Freedom to choose your own religion. Freedom to organize peaceful meetings and demonstrations. See, this is not rioting, but this is protesting. And the freedom to associate with any person or group. Democratic rights, the right to vote. Let's leave it at that. You guys can read this on your own here, but you have the right to vote. Mobility rights, the right to move anywhere within Canada and to earn a living there, and the right to enter, stay in, or leave Canada. And again, did you know? Right, just go through this over and over again. Okay, what are your rights and freedoms? Okay, but basically anyone that steps foot in Canada has these rights and freedoms, except for the right to vote and to enter or leave Canada freely. Legal rights. The right to be free of imprisonment, search and seizure without reasons backed by law or evidence. And the right to a fair and quick public trial by an impartial court that assumes that you are innocent until proven guilty. And the last, most important one again, repeat myself again, equality rights. Equality rights, equality rights. The right to be free of discrimination because of race, national or ethnic origin, religion, gender, age, mental or physical disability. Okay, this is the next assignment. Canada's past, not a pretty picture. We often think of Canada as the free country, this amazing country, and we are. But on pages 100 to 103, there are some events described that have taken place in Canada that would leave us to believe otherwise. The comparison of the past events with the present day helps us to better understand how our government, our charter, and our country has been shaped by these events, values, and attitudes. Your next assignment will be reading pages 100 to 103 and completing the handout. I am going to do a short video. Sorry, you guys.
Staff meeting at 2:50 in the gymnasium, 2:50 in the gym.
I will be doing a short video of me reading these stories as well, but you can read them on your own too. Okay, so thank you very much for episode 2 of the Nels Social 9 podcast. Again, assignment 2 plus the critical thinking will be put on the Google Classroom, but it's past government actions versus how the Charter will protect them today, and I'll post a video of me reading those stories. Thanks a lot, guys. See you later.